For my book report, I did Heart of a Champion by Carl Decker. The main characters consisted of Seth, Jimmy, Jimmy's father, Seth's mother. Seth is the main character. He's the narrator of the story, so it's told kind of in the first person from his point of view. He's not too athletic of a person, although he loves sports and loves baseball. Jimmy, the second most important character of the story, kind of also a main character. He's very athletic, loves baseball, and his father expects a lot out of him to play at a very high level. While Jimmy's father has some alcohol issues, he's the coach of their Little League team and expects a lot out of Jimmy, and if he doesn't perform up to his standards, he gets a little bit aggravated and a little bit carried away. While Seth's mother is kind of the almost responsible one, the one who figures out Seth's issues when he needs them, and kind of explains things to him when Seth is confused or may need some assistance. Seth did have a father, although he did die when he was very young, so he does not play a role in the story. Seth and Jimmy are best friends, and they've always been. They bonded together through baseball, and they always practice, go to the field, hit each other ground balls to become better, and they loved each other's company. Jimmy makes varsity, while Seth makes JV in high school to start out. Although Seth isn't happy, he still works hard to achieve varsity the following year. During their first year, though, Jimmy's father moved to San Francisco, which is kind of a bonus for Jimmy because him and his father weren't getting along very well because of his father's alcohol issues. Jimmy and another player, Ty, one of the better players on the team, were suspended for drinking, which I think Jimmy's motivation to drink was kind of from his father and his leadership role, which wasn't very positive towards Jimmy. The next year, Jimmy and Seth both made varsity. Seth played second base while Jimmy played shortstop, and Seth was obviously very happy and was very successful. Jimmy and was suspended again, actually, because of not going to school, not attending, not completing classes. Overall, throughout the story, Jimmy and Seth kind of started growing apart a little bit later in the story. But eventually, they do come back together and start to bond again. And the quote that I chose, which kind of changes the entire story, was Jimmy is dead. Which means, yes, obviously, Jimmy died due to a car accident from drinking, from what they think. And this was before a state baseball game, which they eventually ended up losing, however, although Seth did talk to Jimmy's father, who was going to attend the game, and realize what he had done and what he wanted to do to fix it, and realized that Jimmy's father was not a bad person. But Seth also kind of looked back to his own father and was saying how he was in the stands there watching him, so it was kind of an emotional finishing to a very good story. So I read Heart of the Champion by Carl Decker.